There are so many aspects of the world of meditation that it is difficult to select those having the greatest importance. No series would be complete, however, without examining the role of music and color in the meditative process. Since both are such an integral part of our world in the without, they must relate to the world within, the world we reach in meditation. Let us begin by looking at music. It is very likely that ever since man has been on this earth, he has probably been making music of some sort. Perhaps he tried to imitate the birds, the night sounds of insects, the bubbling of the brook. Everything in nature moves in rhythm and is filled with sound. Man is no exception. We can hear the myriad ordinary sounds around us when we are quiet. Yet, when we really still ourselves in meditation, we hear the music of the spheres within us and all around us, a symphony of all life. Dr. Donald Hatch Andrews, a scientist who wrote a book entitled Symphony of Life, also wrote an article some time back about the unity of science and religion, in which he said that if we had a very powerful magnifying glass and a magic hearing aid that could be tuned to hear the most infinitesimal sounds and used both to examine the atom, we would see at the center of the atom a luminescent fog of light, moving and undulating in waves. With our hearing aid, we could listen and hear the music that the light waves were moving in rhythm with. The music would be not unlike the sound of our hymns. This is the music of the spheres. Since all matter, including man's body, is composed of atoms, there is this symphony being played in every atom of our being. Dr. Andrews talked about this and said that the body is like an orchestra of octillion players seated on a cosmic stage. As the players play, some occasionally rise and leave the stage, and their places are taken by others. But the symphony of life goes on. However, the director always remains the same. Who and what is this director? It is the human spirit. We might refer to it as the Christ self, or the real self within all men. When we are in harmony with the universe, then the symphony is played perfectly, in a perfect rhythm and balance of sound. But when we are out of harmony, it is as if discordant notes are being played, and these discordant notes manifest themselves as dis-ease, disharmony of mind and body. We need to learn how to get back into the right rhythm and flow with the sound and music of the universe. And we can use music to accomplish this. A poet once said, "If we are free in the quiet, the poem, the music will carry us, and we will be surprised at our own expression. We will feel as though a strong wind had blown through us and cleared the way for better work in the future." Music for meditation should be carefully selected for the desired effect we want to achieve, whether we sing our meditation or listen to the music. Music can be used to create any atmosphere we desire and take the mind deep within or far beyond the usual limits we may have set for our thinking processes. Singing our meditations involves the feeling nature, and this gets our whole being moving, a very different experience than that of speaking words or sitting in the silence. Affirmative statements which we speak with power can be increased or enhanced by singing. One does not need to be a good singer, but only has to have the desire to enter into the rhythm and harmony of the song. Our hymns are affirmations, statements set to music, and we can use our positive words to bring our mind and body into a perfect harmony with the symphony of life. For listening in meditation, classical music is the best source of music for meditation. Much of Debussy's music is excellent, as is Massenet. Even Rachmaninoff has written music that flows. There are many fine composers who have written suitable music for meditation. The local library usually has a fine selection of records to borrow and make your choices for your meditative experience. Any music which allows the mind to flow is desirable. Even Moog music on the electronic synthesizer is different and allows for a creative meditation because the sounds range far beyond that of conventional instruments. It is important to listen to different recordings until you find the music that suits you. Music that you can respond to and flow with is what you are looking for, not the kind that imposes, that is, interrupts your flow, but carries you with it. There is a time when music that imposes is appropriate. Eastern meditators respond to the plucking of stringed instruments, which is said to cause that click in consciousness that opens the mind to universal awareness. Music touches us emotionally and physically. Some is surface, yet other music touches the depths of our being and can bring the healing of mind and body that occurs when we flow with the music to the center within us and become one with the universal reality, God, in a cosmic symphony of life. Let us look now at the rainbow world of color. The best place to start is at the beginning of creation. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Everything that emerged or became manifest in our world is composed of light or energy in varying forms. When light is directed through a prism, it breaks into the color spectrum. And as light energy is expressed in manifestation, it fills our world with color. Colorful flowers, birds, the clothing that we wear, the beauty of nature in sunrise, sunset, and rainbow. 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ said, "Ye are the light of the world. Let your light shine." We are letting more and more of the light of God centered in every atom of our being, shine forth from within us, and we are becoming more and more radiant in expression. Arthur Clarke, a well-known person in the field of science and science fiction, has said that man would one day be a luminescent being, quite unlike he is today. This luminescence that comes from within man has been pictured by artists as the halo or aura, especially around the head and body of highly spiritual people. It is a manifestation of the light emanating from the energy field of light within each man. We see light emanating from the faces of spiritually oriented people today, such as Brother Mandus, and others who let their light shine clearly. The color story is an ancient one. It is only in recent years that the metaphysics of color has been lost. At one time, color was one of the most important symbols used in man's religious life. Man lost this awareness of color significance as he became more technologically oriented and outer-directed in his thinking. Today, with more and more people meditating, man is beginning an inward journey and is discovering much that he seemed to have lost along the way. As far back as time goes, man has been aware of color. Primitive people used color in art forms depicting their early religious thought. The Bible is filled with color symbology, from the jewels on Aaron's breastplate, representing the 12 tribes of Israel, to the book of Revelation, which is rampant with color symbology. Colored jewels have always been related to healing by many cultures as a way to trap the emanation of spirit and bring healing to the wearer of the jewel. Amber was and still is considered to have healing qualities. Not the jewel, but the color is the instrument of the healing. Pythagoras, who lived around 500 to 600 BC, was a mathematician, but he was also a mystic who wrote much about the healing qualities of color. He used herbs of varying colors in healing processes. He also developed the relationship of color to music. This idea was later taken up by Beethoven, Schubert, Rimsky-Korsakov, Handel, and even greater by Scriabin in his color musical score, Prometheus. Castell developed a color organ geared to light and music, using the same color relationship to musical tones. Pythagoras referred to the Trinity or Godhead as the Godhead of all color and sound. He said that color and tones were creative powers which emanated from God in the creation. This should not be surprising, since he describes God's body as light and God's nature as absolute truth. He further said God was the supreme mind everywhere present throughout the universe, the cause of all, the intelligence within all, and he described the motion of God as circular. These definitions are the same that metaphysicians use today to describe God. Pythagoras' writings contain valuable insight for one who wishes deeper insight into the world of color and sound. Egyptians used color cloth, placed on the body to bring healing as far back as 1500 BC. The Chinese use a varying color scheme in many activities, using red in connection with the beginning of new activities. The American Indians painted their faces and bodies with colors designed to attune them to the Great Spirits, so that the Great Spirit would be with them in their endeavors. The Navajos use specific color for healing in their sand paintings for the same reason, to get in tune with the Spirit. Many things are being done today with color and healing. Hospitals have been experimenting with different colors of walls in rooms to aid in healing. Green gowns are used in the operating room to add the healing consciousness to the operation. At one time, nuns working in hospitals wore black habits. They were changed to white when it was discovered that the black seemed to absorb the illness of the patient. The white reflected or repelled. Prior to 1966, all typewriters at Unity School used purple ribbons. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, felt purple represented power of spirit. As well, it was the transitional color of direct intuition that brings us into higher understanding of spiritual things. Breakthroughs in the field of color are coming through more rapidly today as more and more people are meditating. The expanding and quickening of the mind in meditation is increasing the consciousness of man. More people are seeing the emanation of color from the energy field within and around man called the aura. This was once limited to mystics and gifted people, but only because they were open to the idea. The aura has always been there for all who would to see. Two Russian scientists named Kirlian developed a way of photographing the light emanations from the body. They found there were 741 points on the body that give forth stronger light than others. These have been related now to the 741 acupuncture points of the ancient Chinese healing art. Thermography is a form of color photography that shows variations of heat in all matter. It is in use to photograph our Earth and show areas where pollution is excessive and where minerals, crops, and other things are prolific. It is also being used in diagnosis of disease in the human body, as disease cells give forth a different color emanation than healthy cells. Even more sophisticated light and color scanners are being used to find diseased areas of the body without exploratory surgery. This same ability has been developed by many in deep meditation, and the potentials of mind are just beginning to be tapped and used for creative living and healing. The relationship of color to mind activity is too vast to cover in one lesson, but in creative meditation, the seeker of light and awareness can inquire into this realm and be guided to that which is needed by the Spirit of Truth that dwells within all men. At the Rainbow Show at the Fine Arts Museum in San Francisco, they developed a book showing the development of the color idea in the consciousness of man. The cover on the book depicts a man crawling out of the usual spectrum of color through the violet realm of transition upward into colors that have not been seen until now except in altered states of consciousness like that of deep meditation. It is through the meditative process that man returns to his center and moves beyond into the world of color, colors which differ from that which he has usually experienced. We all have the potential of seeing colors that have not yet been seen, hearing sounds that have not yet been heard, smelling odors never smelled before, tasting flavors not yet experienced, and becoming aware of higher levels of life yet to be expressed and experienced. These all are a part of the world of meditation, the way to release the imprisoned splendor that indwells every man. As our final meditative experience, we will combine music and color imagery to relax mind and body, to carry the flow of thought once again to our center, where we may experience the infinite potentials available to us as we achieve oneness with God, the reality, the source of all that is. Let us relax now for our meditative experience. Find a comfortable position in your chair. Take a deep breath and let out all care, all thought, all anxiety. As you breathe, let yourself relax. Let your mind become still. As you go deeper and deeper into letting your mind flow within to the center within your being. Now that you have relaxed into the center of your being, become aware in your mind's eye of a sphere that extends all about you, a sphere that is your sphere of reference. It is to the right of you, to the left of you, above you, below you, in front of you, and behind you. Their radius is approximately 4 feet from your center. Take a few minutes to become familiar with your sphere. Feel its center within you, its outer edges all around you, above you, below you, to the right of you, to the left of you, in front of you, and behind you. Experience your sphere of influence. Now, at the center of this sphere, feel the center of your being pulsing with the rhythm and the flow of your breath. With each breath, feel this center going in and going out. A rhythmic pulsing flow at the center of your being. And now, bring an awareness of the light that is within you, down into this center within you. Feel the light now centered within you, pulsing and flowing with the rhythm of your breath. The light flowing in and flowing out from your center. With each out-breath, let the center of light expand outward and return on each in-breath. Breathing out, let the light flow farther and farther into your sphere of influence. This light is a radiant light that expands farther and farther outward on each breath, flowing in, flowing out, until your whole sphere is filled with light. Light that flows in and out in a fluid motion. You are one with that flow, free, moving, living energy. Feel yourself becoming one with the flow of light, flowing in, flowing out. Your whole sphere filled with light. Feel yourself within that sphere, alive as you have never been before, at peace, in a perfect harmony. As you observe the light flowing in and out from your center, begin to let that light circulate and flow within your sphere, just as the light flows and moves within every atom of the universe. See it flowing in a circular motion that begins at the top of your head, moves down through and around the left side to the base, then up the right side, returning to the head. Let the light flow in this rhythmic circle. As it begins to flow, observe the changing of the light as if it is passing through a prism. As it touches the top of the head, there is an experience of red. Then, in the left area, orange, lower yet, yellow, at the base, green, at the right, blue, then indigo, finally violet, returning to the red. Slowly let this rhythm of color, this flow of color, move within the circumference of your sphere. Do not direct, let it flow. Once your circle, your sphere is filled with light, let your mind move out beyond the circumference of your sphere, beyond into a realm of ultra color, ultra red, ultra orange, ultra yellow, ultra green, ultra blue, ultra indigo, ultraviolet. Begin to let the mind flow into this realm beyond your own sphere. Let the light flow in rhythm and color out beyond you, expanding even farther and farther with each out-breath, returning on each in-breath to your center, never separated from the center, always flowing farther out, flowing in, letting the light flow farther and farther away, letting the mind flow with the light into new realms of color, new realms of light, always one, always centered. Let yourself flow, let yourself move with this rhythm and flow. See how you feel as this flow continues. Any imagery that may come, observe and remember. You may choose to flow for a time with this, but now we're going to let the light begin to return to your own sphere. On each in-breath, feel the light coming back in lesser radiation, moving back very slowly in and out until it has all been gathered back into your own sphere. Then, slowly with each breathing in and out, let it return to your own center. Let it come back as a point of white light that expands and flows and pulses from your center. Feel yourself floating in the light. Feel yourself letting the light move in and out, doing a perfect healing work in your mind and body. For the flow of light is a cleansing, purifying flow, and you are one with that light. You are at peace, you are calm, you are relaxed, you are renewed. Now, ever so gently, bring the light back to your center. Then move the light up behind the eyes. With your eyes still closed, let yourself listen to these words of a poem by Jose Arguelles. I am the center, I am the point from which each direction goes. I am the seed from which time grows and flows around me in days that are without number. 1,000 suns surround me, and I am the sun burning in the center. I am. My rays go out and penetrate the night. I am 1,000,000 jewels blazing in my solar sight. I am the past and future set in eternal flight. I am the morning and the evening in my eternal light. I am, and yet in me the silent mystery. I am not, forever burns, and I bow down, a silent witness to what in me forever learns, forever burns, forever turns. I am. And now, as you begin to focus your eyes and let the light come fully, open your eyes and look at the world around you and give thanks for your journey into the world of meditation.